Hey, welcome back to my channel. My name is Corey Hennessy, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to make a lead form ad in Facebook. I'm going to bring this really back to basics. I'm going to be teaching you guys a lot more of the in-depth lead generation tactics, stuff that we do in my agency. I've ran a real estate and marketing agency for over 6 years, working with clients to generate leads for all different types of industries, not just real estate. And I want to start to teach you guys the basics. So in this video, I'm going to do a simple video on how to create a lead form ad so you can start to generate leads for your business, for your real estate brokerage, for your own business. And we're going to get started. So go to your Facebook ad account, make sure you have your ad account set up. It will look something like this if you're using your personal account. If you have other accounts, you can click the drop down and go to that account. We're going to click create in the top left. Now you'll have a bunch of different campaign objectives. What you're going to want to select is leads. Obviously, if we're getting leads, that's what we want. Traffic is good to send people to a website. Awareness is good if you just want people to view your content or view your videos. Engagement is great if you want likes on your content, if you want comments on your content, if you even want follows on your Facebook page, you can use engagement. App promotion, it's in the name, it's just good for apps. And sales is only good if you're selling a product or you want to have conversions or calls, you can use sales. Now, leads is what we're going to go for. We're going to hit continue. And with the new Andromeda update, there's so many new features to meta advertising that I wanted to make this video for 2026 to make sure that you guys understand the stuff that you should leave on, the stuff that you should turn off. Campaign name, you're going to name it something easy. For this example, I'm going to do a real estate campaign in Texas. So let's do, I always name my campaigns Vantage for my agency. We'll do Texas lead gen. Now you can name it whatever you want. If it's a specific target audience, maybe it's 50 plus, maybe it's 20 plus, you can put the name in there. But I like to do that on the ad set level. Now, campaign name is finished. Auction type, you can leave it on auction. The campaign objective is leads. Now, campaign budget and the budget strategy overall, I recommend using the ad set budget if you're going to have multiple ad sets. That will allow you to set a cost per your ad set that you're running. So an ad set is essentially the targeting, the different placements that you're going to have. So if I click in really quick, in here you'll have the different types of placements you're going to be using, the different targeting, so the different locations that you're going to be running, the interest. So if you're going to have different ones, you'll need to use the ad set budget. If not, just leave the campaign budget on, it's fine. Your daily budget, depending on your budget, I recommend starting Facebook ads if you're a realtor with around $500. It's in euro because I'm based in Ireland, but as I mentioned many times, we work with US clients. If I change this, it would be to $33. That would be $1,000 per day, $999 per day. That's mostly what we work with clients with. But if you have less, put it to 15. You can put it to 10. Whatever it is, you'll still get leads. It's just a matter of checking your filtering, checking your questions, and seeing what the quality of those leads are like, especially when it comes to your forms. Campaign bid strategy, leave it on the highest volume. That's completely fine. A/B test, you don't need to do. Special ad categories. Now, this is important. If you're in real estate, you will have to select housing, and it means your targeting is much more restricted. So it will restrict you from targeting specific age groups because you can't disqualify people based on their age, and you also can't disqualify based on their location. You can do a radius of a zip code, but it needs to be very broad. You can't do very specific targeting if you do select one of these housing categories. You can try and run the ad without it. If it gets rejected, add this back in. You can just edit the settings. You can turn this on and it will work then. So for this example, I will choose housing. For the country where it's going to show, we're going to go next. The ad set name, as I mentioned, this is the best place to put your targeting. Let's say we said Texas, let's say Dallas. So we're going to be targeting people in Dallas. If you were not in housing and if you're in a different industry, you would put 30 plus, or you could put 25 plus, and then the interests, maybe sports, housing, dogs, etc. Whatever the interest is, you can put that on the end and you're going to be able to add that in. For now, I'm just going to leave mine as Dallas, and I'm going to show you exactly how you would change that. The conversion location, Facebook will try to push you to this new offer or new system or new conversion, which is the website and instant forms. I don't recommend using that. It will ask you to do that if you have a website. Don't use it. You're going to see a lot less leads coming in and a higher drop off. Just stick to instant forms. That's what I'm going to focus this video around, and that's the main purpose. For your page, make sure you select the correct page. If you have multiple pages, you will have the option to click the drop down and go through all of the pages that you have and select the one that you're going to use. I'll select my personal Facebook page. This is also my Instagram page, Corey.ie. In here, the performance goal, maximize the number of leads. That's perfectly fine. That's what we want to keep. The conversion leads is good if you're using a CRM, but we won't use that for now. That's kind of advanced and you'll need to link it to your CRM. Cost per result goal, we don't need to add it in. Value rules, we don't need to change. Catalog, we don't have a catalog. We're not a product-based business. So your budget and schedule, I recommend leaving the schedule on today. You can leave it to run. I don't recommend start adding an end date at all. Budget scheduling, you can actually budget your schedule now between certain hours. So if you want to have set hours in the day, or maybe you just want it to run from 9 till 5 so you don't waste budget in the nighttime, you can now do that inside of Meta Ads. I don't recommend turning it on because I've seen results really drop off, and I think it's just down to the algorithm. Once the algorithm learns, it will bid at the correct times and it's going to kind of find the best times to be running anyways. So I feel like this is a waste of your spend, a waste of your kind of, not your budget, but just a waste of your overall spend, because you won't be getting as many leads. Instead, you'll be hindering the algorithm from getting you the best results. So don't turn it on. Audience controls, we're going to change it. Like I mentioned, we're going to be targeting Dallas. So we're going to add that in. We're going to remove Ireland. So because the warning was because of the fact that we had the housing category, we had it set to the US, even though we were targeting Ireland. So obviously if you're in the US, you won't have that issue, but just make sure to double check. As I mentioned, you'll have some restrictions. I don't think you can go below 15 mile radius with the restriction on housing. But like that, if you're in Dallas, maybe you're in the Fort Worth area, you can add that in too. But we could just put in a radius of maybe 30 miles. So that will cover some of Fort Worth, Texas, Louisville, Allen, Garland, Irving. So you have all of these places covered. Now, depending on your business or depending on what you do, maybe you can't service 30 miles, maybe you can service 100 miles, maybe you can serve different states. You can add all of that in here and it won't make a difference. So if you're a roofing company and you can drive 50 miles, change it to 50 miles, choose multiple different places. If I wanted to add in Denton that we see right here, we can add in Denton. We're going to pick Denton, Texas. Again, another 15 miles. If we want those to overlap to create a better radius, we can drag and put it up to 30. So now you see, now it's going all the way up towards Gainesville. Now, if you're running advertising that's state specific, so if you're running advertising that's for a complete state for the whole of Texas, what you'll want to do is make sure you're excluding states that are touching off of the state, and this will help you not just get leads from people that have, maybe for this example, people from Louisiana that pass through Texas. You don't want those people filling in the form, or maybe the ads are trying to reach people in Houston and it's picking up people that are in Lake Charles, which is in Louisiana. We don't want that. So what we're going to do is we're going to exclude those people. Okay, so since we've selected housing, we actually can't exclude the audiences, and that's just down to the fact that it is housing and it's a special category. You won't be allowed to, but you can in fact add in the, so you'll see here postcode and zip code selection is unavailable. There's a lot more restrictions when it comes to the housing category, but if you're in a different niche, you won't have that issue. The minimum age, again, you won't be able to change if you are outside of the housing category. If I go back, we can turn it off. And now if we go back to in here, we actually have the option to exclude now. So if I put in, as I mentioned, Louisiana, I knew I spelled that wrong, but now we have Louisiana excluded. So depending on what you're doing, you can exclude all of your neighboring states. So I was wondering why that was in Spanish. That's Mexico. Let's go to Arkansas, Arkansas. So exclude that. That's wrong. You would need to select the state, but you would basically choose anywhere that is neighboring the state that you're in. And this is just going to help you not collect leads from people that pass through. Or if you are reaching a lead that's maybe on the border or reaching across to a neighboring state, it will do its best to restrict those people from completing the form. And sometimes when you first launch your advertising, you will get some random leads from kind of just outside your state or just outside of the vicinity that you've selected. Give it time, give it around a week, and you will see that it will start to optimize and find the correct people. A lot of people get frustrated when random leads come in the beginning. Sometimes it just takes a week or two to really find the right people. If it's still having issues, go in and exclude those locations. So even inside of your state or inside of the town that you're in or the city that you're in, if I don't want anybody in Greenville and we were not in the housing category, I could simply put in Greenville, Texas. So now we can see anybody inside of this circle is excluded. So we're not going to be targeting anyone inside of this circle, whereas we're targeting people really in the Dallas-Fort Worth area overall. So we're getting all of these people. Maybe Denton we don't want to target anymore. We can just remove. So now we have this huge 30-mile radius. We're excluding Greenville. Maybe we could even exclude all of these areas around, and that will run perfectly fine. As I mentioned, if you're in housing, it's just the mile radius that you can do. You can't exclude and you can't really remove people. You also can't change the age group. Now you have this option, reach more people likely to respond to your ads. I recommend turning this off. If your selected city and region is very strict, you don't want it to expand. You don't want this algorithm to go on and try and go to different states, different cities. So turn this off. I don't recommend using it. It's going to just expand and reach people that you don't want or people that can't even use your service. If you're running an ad in the Dallas-Fort Worth area in Texas and all of your copy says, are you a home seller in Dallas-Fort Worth? It doesn't make any sense if the algorithm starts going out to Tyler or going out to Longview and people are seeing this advertising saying, hey, are you in the Dallas-Fort Worth? It makes you look kind of weird because your ad's showing up in the wrong location, and then the call out just doesn't work for those people. So make sure you're checking that stuff. As I mentioned, turn this off and really get an idea of your targeting, your ideal client, your ideal customer, where they are, how old they are, what they do. That's all stuff that you can add in when you're at this section. So with that, if I go down more, suggest an audience. You can give an audience suggestion. This means you can give some idea of what you want the algorithm to go on. Further limit the reach of ads. This is something that now you have to turn on to get rid of Advantage Plus. I recommend turning off Advantage Plus if your targeting needs to be really specific. Leaving this on will allow Meta's advertising algorithm to really find and expand more. But when you're doing lead gen, it can actually be worse. I think this is good for e-commerce or selling products, but I always turn it off. It's going to give you a lot more options, and these are the classic options when it comes to targeting on Meta. They removed these. They're starting to hide them behind a lot more options. Whereas maybe for your business, if you're in home services or real estate, an 18-year-old is not going to really have a home. Maybe 25 plus, if you're lucky, they'll be getting a mortgage. But at this rate and with the way the economy is, you're probably looking at 30 plus for somebody looking to purchase a home or rent a home. And then if you're selling home services, you're going to need a homeowner, and a homeowner might be 40 plus. So to save yourself budget, you can put in 40 to 65 plus, and that's going to be your targeting range. Now, if you're doing something that's way less and you don't need that, you can actually bring it down. So you could bring it down to 18 to 25. Maybe you have a service or something that you want to promote to those people that you want leads. You can lower it down, use as a suggestion. Again, this is another way for it to try and get it to allow you to expand. Turn it off, and every time you make a change, it's going to keep doing that. It's going to keep turning it back on, which is a bit of a headache. So keep it turned off. It's not worth it. Keep it to these default settings. Genders, I recommend leaving on all of them. Most services, this isn't going to make a difference. If it does for you, you have the option to change the gender that you're running the ads for. Custom audiences. Now, if you've made custom audiences with your website traffic, this is where you can put those in. So anyone that's visited your website, you can retarget. Anyone that has clicked on a video, you can retarget. I'll probably make a video on this if you want me to make a video on how to set up custom audiences, as they are super effective and they will lower your cost. Comment down below. I'll make a full video on that in the next week, and I'll get that posted. Exclusions. This would allow you to exclude people that were on your website too. So by creating those custom audiences, you're not wasting money on the same people. Now, detailed targeting. With the way the algorithm has gone now, 99% of the time, you don't need to do any detailed targeting. I actually recommend leaving it completely off. So you won't need to add any demographics, any interest. But if you want to, and if you want better quality leads, or you want to find people a lot easier, you can put in stuff. So maybe if the person is looking for home improvement, this means that they're looking on pages, or they've expressed interest in pages that do home improvement. Maybe your competitors' pages, they're talking about home improvement. This means it's going to look for those people straight away. But the way the new Andromeda update works on Meta, and even before, using your text and using your primary text, you can really call out the person that you're running the ad for. So you don't really need to put in this detailed targeting anymore. I recommend testing it. So if you have the budget, you can make a quick duplication of your ad set once it's finished, and maybe add in one or two interests that are specific to your business model. And you will be able to test, are you getting cheaper leads? Are you not getting cheaper leads? Across all of our ad accounts that we manage, the broad campaign gets the cheapest quality lead, or the cheapest cost per lead, and the best quality lead, because the algorithm just learns over time. So in the beginning, it might not be the best, but over time, because it's just learning and it's running the most, it begins to get the best quality. Now, languages, you can actually exclude certain languages. For example, we would use this when, so we can put in English. We would use this in places like Texas, where you will have Spanish speakers. And unfortunately, if your company does not have any Spanish speaking staff members, it's going to be very difficult for you to work with a Spanish speaker. So you can exclude languages, you can remove Spanish speakers from your leads if you want to. If you're using AI, or if you're using conversational bots, they can speak Spanish, so they could still book people in. But the issue is, then, if you don't have somebody internally that can help that person that speaks Spanish, it's going to be difficult. And you can do the same. This will exclude any other languages apart from English. But if your business is Spanish, you could put in Spanish, and you only work with Spanish speakers. If you speak Russian, you can put in Russian. If you speak Chinese, you can put in Chinese. That will allow you to only go to those people. And also, when you write your ads in that language of Spanish or Chinese, those ads will only show up for those speakers. So you're going to be showing to a better audience also. So that's it for all the targeting. Your audience is finished. We're mainly saying we're doing housing related ads. We're going to say 40 to 65 plus. Ad transparency, you will need to do this and give the beneficiary, so basically just your name. It's something that Meta advertising needs now, is to show the name or the business that's running the ads, and this will be publicly visible, so people can look and see who's running the ads behind a certain company. If I look at my competitors' ads, I can see the person's name or the company name, and the same with any company, you can see them all. Now, placements, advantage on, again, this is something that's always put on. I recommend turning this off. It's not worth it. What you can do is go in, and one, you can choose the placement controls. You can say that your brand can only use certain placements. But if you click this tiny drop down where it's almost hidden, you can actually go in and turn off a lot of these. So if you're running an ad for leads, it's going to be spending a lot of budget on these external apps and sites. Turn those off. Search results, depending on what you're selling, you might be able to turn these on or leave them on, because if somebody is searching for what you do, it might be worth it. This is better for cafes and people looking for local cafes, or maybe they're looking for food. This is a good option, but I recommend turning that off. In-stream ads for reels. These are the ads that show up in between reels. If you're running video ads, they make sense. If you're not and you're running graphics alone, I recommend turning them off, but you really should be running video ads alongside your graphics. For now, we're going to turn them off. Stories and reels, Instagram stories, Facebook. We have Instagram reels, Instagram profile reels, Facebook reels, and then feeds. You have all of the feeds. Make sure that threads is turned off, because with leads, it's not available, but this will be available for some of your other categories. Make sure you're not running ads on it. You don't really see a good result from it. I've seen it across multiple accounts. It doesn't bring in much. In here, I'd recommend keeping on all of the feeds. Facebook Marketplace, turn it off. Instagram Explorer, turn it off. Explore Home, turn it off. Business Explorer, turn it off. And Facebook notifications, turn it off. If your advertisement is showing up like this, it's almost useless. Like, nobody is really going to click on that. They don't have any context of what you do, what your service is. And this is a huge reason that a lot of people get a lot of reach, or they might be getting clicks and it's not converting, is the format that your ads are showing up in are just not good, and they're not going to convert. So make sure you're turning these off. I recommend leaving these ones on. Mainly, the rest are not really worth it. This is also another option that Meta has added. There's so many of these updates in Andromeda that people are not changing, and it's limit the ad spend to excluded placements. So this will allow 5% of your budget to go to excluded placements. Now, if we are excluding placements, why would I want it to spend money on those? I'm excluding them for a reason. So make sure that's also turned off. And you can look through here. This just goes through exactly how the ads will be used. But that's pretty much it for your ad set. So since we've added the age group, I'm actually going to change it for homeowners that are 30 plus in Dallas. So now what we can do is we can rename this to Dallas 30 plus, and I can even say Dallas Fort Worth DFW. So now when we're looking at a reporting, we can see that this ad set is the effective one or it's the least effective one, and we'll know because it has this specific name. And if you're using UTMs, you'll see it come in. Now to the most important part, setting up the lead ad. So setting up the ad itself. So the ad name, I always go with something simple. You can name it image 1, image 2, image 3. But if you know what the image is about, it's much better to give it that. So if it is Dallas Fort Worth home sellers, that's the example I'll just do for now. Dallas Fort Worth home sellers, we'll name it that. We can even say 1 because maybe we have different variants, which you should have. Partnership ad, these are the new type of ads that you can run with different accounts or different creators. And you can run an ad on your account and their account at the same time. And it's really good for UGC. It's not good for what we're going to be doing with the seller leads, but maybe if you sell a product or something else, that could work for you. Now, this is one of the most important parts, create the ad. What we're going to do for this part is we're going to go to Canva. We're going to look up real estate. Let's see if we can find something easy to use. Let's go with an Instagram post. Let's go with this one. So I'm going to quickly customize this and we'll use this as our content. So obviously there's hundreds of templates on Canva. You can use a template that suits your business best, but I'm just going to change this to We Buy Homes, and we'll put a good call to action. We'll put in under 24 hours. Let's move this up a small bit. We're going to pull this down. Complete the form below. Make it a little bit smaller. We'll put that there. We need a call to action to make people understand that they need to click on the form. So they need to click the link to fill in the form. So we're going to add this. We can add an effect. We can do a background. And let's change it from that ugly yellow to maybe this color. And then we'll change the font to a nice white. Put it there. Change the spacing because it's like this. And then we can even make it bigger so people know what they need to do. If I wanted to, if you have your own images, make sure you use your own images. But what we can do in Canva is we can look up real estate. It's going to pull a bunch of photos. Since we're using homes plural, we can use this. Let's delete this. Drag this up. Change the layer and send it backwards. Now it's underneath the home. So we buy homes in under 24 hours. This could be a picture of you. If you have a picture, you can add it in. So I think I probably have one of me. Let's say this one. I have a James Bond-esque picture. This could be me as a real estate agent. We'll drag it up. Now this could be you. I can put in my name. Now with this, obviously add more text, add more information. You could put more stuff like we buy homes in any condition, which is a huge factor when it comes to purchasing property that a lot of people ask. And then again, we can add that background. change the font to this. So we buy homes in any condition. We buy homes in under 24 hours. Complete the form below. That could grab attention. What you could also add to this is a call out to the location. So people would look at this and say, oh, I'm in Dallas Fort Worth, so this ad is for me. This is relevant to me. We buy homes in any condition. They see the background as homes. We buy homes. Complete the form below. Easy, simple as that. Have as much information as possible when it comes to the actual offer that you have. I recommend creating multiple different variants. I can make a lot more in-depth video on creating content, but I don't want to take too long on the creative side of this video. So have a good offer, have a good image, call out your audience, have a good call to action on the button or the thing that the person needs to do. Make it easy for them to understand. And then all we're going to do is hit download. We're going to hit save on the PNG. And now we can go back to Facebook ads. So now that we're back in the Facebook ad, create ad, we can go down and we should have the option to add the creative. We're going to say it's an image ad. We're going to hit upload. We're going to hit on this, select. All of your old creative, all of your Instagram content, all of your images will be here. So these are all of my Instagram posts, my stories, my images, past ads that I've ran. Everything you have on your account will be in here. So you'll be able to use previous content or previous images that you've posted. This is my personal Instagram account. If it was the Vantage account for the agency, you'll see a lot of agency posts. But for this one, we've just uploaded our new image. We'll hit next. So leave it on original. You can create a one-to-one, which would be better for the Instagram ad. This will take up more space. On the vertical, this is for your Instagram stories. There's usually another option here, but since we've turned off the placements, it's not going to be here. Make sure that it's not like this because the text will be missing. The ad won't be showing up correctly. Make sure you leave it on original. It will still show up like this, and I'll show you how that looks once we create the ad. And it will work really well because you'll have text above and below. So if you don't have a full story 9:16 image, it will still work. Don't worry. You can still run it without it. 1:1 might not fit. If you make a 1:1 image, it will. So for this, we'll leave our images as they are. We'll click next. Now, this is an interesting part. You have your text. What I recommend you do is come up with your own offer, whatever you're doing with your business. If it's roofing, get your roof fixed in under 2 days or 24 hours, whatever it is, whatever your call to action is. Brainstorm, and the best place to do that is in ChatGPT. Now, with this, if you're a real estate agent, what I'm going to do now is simply put in, I am creating a new advertisement. Okay, so calls out to DFW specifically, speaks to urgency and convenience, removes friction, pre-handles objections, and encourage form fills. Need to sell your home fast in Dallas Fort Worth. We buy houses for cash in DFW. Any condition, any situation. No repairs, no showings, no agent fees, no waiting months to close. Whether you're facing foreclosure, inherited property, relocating, or just want a quick sale. So as you can see, this text is really good. Like it's the quality of AI for your ads is next to none now. It used to be really bad. The stuff on Facebook is really bad. So this stuff that's going to pop up with the Advantage Plus, turn it all off. It's not going to be good. Instead, ask for variants like I just did. So give us 3. I'm going to just use the first one for the video. But again, it's trying to turn these all on, turn them off. Headline, we're going to add sell your home for cash. We'll turn these automatic ones off again. The description, simply add a quick description. And now for the call to action, what always works best is just learn more. Learn more seems to always work best. You could add something like get in touch or apply now. It depends on what you're doing with your advertising, with your business. Learn more works for everything. So learn more. If you don't know what to use, just always use learn more. So that gave us our text. It gave us our headline, sell your Dallas Fort Worth home fast for cash. So now if we hit next, it's going to give us some options to generate AI images. I don't recommend doing that. It's going to ask to add AI enhancements. I don't recommend doing this either. Translating the text isn't worth it if your company only speaks one language. Enhanced media text. This can work well, but it can also mess up your advertisement sometimes. 3D animation, don't turn it on. It looks really bad. Text improvements, these can work. Sometimes it can be good, but it will be changing your text, so it could mess up your offer or it could mess up what you're actually running. Visual touch-ups, I actually recommend turning these off. The overlays, you can leave those on. It means it will put the text or the buttons as overlay. Music, turn it off. If you've ever seen ads with random music playing in the background, this is the reason why. It's because it chooses these random music, and sometimes it's Christmas music, sometimes it's birthday music, and it's the middle of summer, so it doesn't make any sense. I recommend turning it off. You can customize and select music, which if you take the time and do, it could help with the conversion. It could help with the engagement on the post if the music matched what you did. But a lot of the time, this automatic music makes no sense, and it's not really worth leaving on. So I would turn it off, and for all the rest, leave them off. Now, if we hit done, we have our ad. So we start to see what the ad would look like on Facebook, and we'll also be able to hit advanced preview. And now we can see what it looks like on every platform. So on Facebook, on my Instagram, on Reels, on the profile feed, Facebook profile, Instagram profile. So now we can see exactly what the ad will look like, what the button looks like, how people will click on it, what they will go to. And it looks pretty good. This is something that people could click on. It's what people could convert into a lead. For a realtor in Dallas, this would work really well. If somebody's wholesaling property or purchasing property, it would work well. Now, when they click on that form, where are they going to go? They're going to go to a form that we will need to create. So let's create a form. We're going to say seller leads DFW. Now, in this category, more volume, higher intent, rich creative, these are a new option, the require leads to verify with a phone number. I don't recommend turning this on. I recommend leaving more volume on. If you want to add a manual review step, you can with the higher intent. What I usually recommend starting out is using more volume. This will get you more leads. It will also lower the quality of the leads that are coming in. So if you want higher quality from the get-go, use higher intent. What I normally do with more volume is I qualify the leads using automation and go high level, and we have a system to qualify leads at a lower cost. So we leave more volume on. So if you have a smaller budget, go for more volume. If you don't, and you want to have better quality leads, turn on higher intent. And as I mentioned, require leads to verify with a one-time passcode. You don't need to turn this on if you use higher intent, and I recommend leaving it off because most people that are on Facebook or Instagram, they're not going to wait around for a one-time passcode to come in. This has really badly affected a lot of people's campaigns, and I don't recommend turning it on. Higher intent is the most I would go, and it just gives people a chance to review what they're going to provide, basically. More volume is what I'm going to click. Form delivery optimized. I would not leave optimized on. It's a new option now. Meta will tailor your form to each person to maximize performance, and you'll see what this is actually doing is even removing questions, which makes no sense. So this is really damaging people's leads, and it's a new feature that has been added with Andromeda. So we want to turn that off. We want to go to manual. We don't want them to remove anything. We don't want the background image to be removed. The intro can't be skipped. The questions and the contact information can be reordered. No. Optional questions can be skipped and shown at the end. No, like we don't want to do that. And the message for leads can be removed or shown in a different location. All of these just make the leads worse quality. I don't know why they even added this as a feature. Don't turn the optimized on at all. Make sure that it's on manual. If you are selecting all of them like this and you're changing them all, you can just turn it off. So leaving it off means it will be the same as the old lead forms, which are much better quality, and you're going to get better results from those leads coming in. So let's go next. Background image, turn on. This will show the image as a background of the ad that they click from. So it makes your form just look a lot better. In the headline, we're going to put in something quick just from here. We'll use the same one. Sell your Dallas Fort Worth home for cash. Complete the form below and get a cash offer on your home in under 24 hours. Something like that, something easy that people can fill in and they can get an idea of what they're going to be looking at. If I go next, we can now start to add our questions. Depending on your business, you're going to have a lot of different questions. For this example, we're doing home sellers. So let's do, how would you rate the property 1 to 10? We can say 0 to 1, 1 to 4, let's say 4 to 6, let's even say 4 to 8, and 8 to 10. So this will give people an option of, let's add in condition. So how would you rate the property condition 1 to 10? This will give people a question to let us know what condition the property's in, and then we can put in, what do you value the property? And we can say, give a rough estimate of 0 to 20K, maybe do 20 to 50K, 50 to 150K. I'm trying to just make them as broad as possible, just so 150K to 500K. Let's just put these in for examples. And then for the last one, we could just do 500K plus as a catch-all. So now people have to let us know the condition, and then what do they value the property at. So how much are they expecting for the property, and they can fill that in. So we're getting 2 questions from the person here. If you have any more questions, I always recommend using 3 questions on every form. If you have more questions to add, go as high as 5 before you test any more. Stick with 5 or less. I think 5 is already kind of the limit of how many you can ask, especially in a lead form on Facebook. So make sure 5 is your limit. 3 to 5 is the sweet spot. You're going to still get leads, and the quality is going to pick up a lot more with every question that you add. For what we're doing, let's imagine our budget's pretty small. It's $500. We just want volume, and we just want people filling in the form. I think these 2 questions give us an idea of the property the person's selling, so the condition and the value. For you, it could be, how old is your roof? What condition is the roof in? What they're looking to get done to the roof? Maybe it's a person that's doing solar. Have they had solar before? When are they looking to get the install done? You can ask a lot of questions about your own service and your industry, and this is the best place to do it with a multiple choice. I don't recommend using a short answer because people manually have to fill it in, and sometimes it's not as easy for people to come up with an answer and they could leave. So multiple choice is what I always go for. And what you can do is add conditional formatting, where if a person chooses a specific option, so say for example, if the property is below 0 to 1, we simply won't purchase it. We can say close the form. We don't want to purchase these properties. But for all of the rest, we'll allow these people to go to question 2. So if it's 1 to 4, they can go to the question 2. If it's 4 to 8, go to question 2. If it's the last one, 8 to 10, they can go to question 2. And then what do they value the property? So value the property, we'll just say, as long as they give us a price, it's okay, and we'll apply this to all of the answers. So now the only people that won't come in as a lead is if they selected 0 to 1. So depending on your business and your questions, this will allow you to exclude people, and you're not going to be collecting those leads. Now, the big benefit of this is you're going to be training the algorithm on what you accept as a lead and what you don't. If you don't use conditional formatting and you just accept every lead, it means the algorithm thinks it's doing a good job. So it thinks, hey, I'm getting this person 10 leads every day. This must be good. Let's look for the same type of people. Whereas you want to use conditional formatting to actually get rid of specific leads. So the algorithm understands, okay, we don't want people that are going to answer 0 to 1 in this case, or people that don't have the budget for your service, or people that are looking to get something in 12 months' time. That will train the algorithm a lot more than just accepting everybody. Now, for the information, this information is actually automatically filled in. So this email, full name, this section is automatically filled in. In the description, we need to add something. So we're going to put in, we will use this information to contact you shortly. That's pretty much it. Email, full name, phone number, that's usually enough. If you want, you can add in the city, you can add in the zip code. So if we wanted to get the person's zip code, we could add it in, and that will give us the contact information. Now, if you're getting bad phone numbers, you can actually add a short answer, and you can put in, what is the best number to reach you? And this means they manually have to type in a answer to this question. So they can't just automatically go and continue to the next one. They'll need to finish this. So they'll need to actually complete the best number to reach them on. And then you'll have an actual number that they physically put in. This will increase the quality of the numbers that you're collecting, because some of these autofill phone numbers, if it's from a Facebook account that's really old, this could be outdated. And that's just one of the downsides of using meta advertising, is some of the information can be outdated, such as the email and the phone number. And you're going to have people where the phone number is not connected or you're not getting pickups. But down to the cost and the volume, it usually just pays off to still accept people's phone numbers and emails through the platform. But if you are having issues, like I said, add the manual question. So that's pretty much it for the information we want to collect. You'll see now on the form on the right hand side, we have the intro, we have the background, your business logo would be at the top. How would they rate the property? They select the answer, and the next question would pop up, which would be, what do they value the property? Contact information, email, full name, phone number, zip code, we have it all. If we hit next, we'll need to put a link to your business privacy policy. So you can just put in your website. So if I put in vantageagency.co/privacy, that should be good. So now we have our company privacy policy. We hit next. The end page one for leads. Now, when they get to the end page, you have a lot of different options. What I always recommend is try to either get them to book a call. So if you have your calendar set up and Go High Level, you can get people to book a call directly from here. And what I would say is, thanks, you can now book a consultation call with us below, or with me below, depending on your business. Click below to book a call. So now they can book a call, and you can send a link to your calendar. So our calendar would be our discovery call. So if I wanted to, I could link this page. I'm going to copy it, put the link in. Now, if somebody clicks on here, it's going to bring them to it, and I can change the call to action to book a consultation call. Now, if you don't want people to book calls, or you don't take calls, the easiest option is to just call the business. So you can put your phone number in, and you can say, call us directly, or call me now, or call us now. Whatever you want to put in, you can add it here, and when they click on it, it will call your business, and they've already completed the form. So if somebody is of really high intent, they should click on this button, they should call you, they should book a call, they should do something. If you have a PDF, you can actually get it to unlock. So we do this for a lot of clients that run ADU or tiny home ads, and they have brochures or catalogs. When they complete the form, they can now download the document. So they can download the form, and this will allow them to download it directly in the app. So you know, everybody that has came in as a lead, they've also downloaded your catalog or your brochure. As I mentioned, we're just going to stick to sending people to book a call. So book a consultation. That's usually how we operate. End page 2 for leads. So these leads are unqualified. This is the one that we showed. Maybe they're not qualified. If somebody is really of high intent, you can still send them to your website. So you can still put in your website's link and allow those people to go to your website. And if you have your phone number, if you have your email on there, which more than likely you do, they will call, they will email anyways. If they don't take the time to do that, they probably weren't of a good kind of intent or a good quality lead to begin with. So it's worth, when they get to this page, just allow them to click and go to your website. So thanks for your interest. Based on your answers, this might not be the best fit. They're going to click, they'll go across, and that's pretty much it. Now, you have this option also, which can be good. It's auto checked when they are filling in the form. And when a person finishes the lead form, they'll automatically start a conversation in Messenger. This is really good if you're using the conversation bot on Go High Level. So when they start a conversation, your AI bot can speak to that person and book them in for a call, or let them know that you're going to call them back. And it just allows you to see the lead's real profile, real name, actually get to speak to them straight away. So you can leave it on. For this example, I will leave it on, but you can test turning it off or turning it on either way. I think since it's auto checked, most people will leave it on, and they'll hit submit. And a lot of our clients are running it with the conversations on, and then we use the conversational bot to speak to those leads and book them in, which works really well. So now we'll hit publish. We've made our form, we have it set. we have our seller leads, Dallas Fort Worth, we have our image, we have our text, we have the preview. If I scroll down, we can see our primary text. It's already turned the variations back on again. Like, we can turn that off. We have our headline, we have our description, call to action, and in here we have all of our information. So this is the form now. If I click, because we have conditional formatting, it probably won't show as well, but once you click on this, it will bring up the next question. They'll fill in that question and they will continue. Website tracking, if you're sending people to your website, you can turn that on. You can add your pixel. This is an old pixel from an ecom brand, but you can have your business pixel here, and when they click, it's going to track your traffic going to the website, and it's going to allow you to retarget those people in the future. I recommend turning that on for all of your advertising, but if you don't have a website setup, or if you don't have a pixel setup, you don't need it. It's not 100% necessary. Don't worry about it. You can run it without it. And that's pretty much it. That's the full campaign. We've set up a full lead gen campaign in Texas and Dallas Fort Worth for home sellers, so people looking to sell their home. If you're looking to buy or sell or whatever you're doing, you can follow the same process. Hopefully it was easy to follow. I know this is a pretty long video. If I wanted to now, I could hit publish. If I hit publish, it's going to publish the campaign, and the campaign now is going to go live. It will probably come up with something. No, so that will go live now. So you'll see the campaign was published. And on this account, that will start to run. Usually it takes around 1 hour for it to be reviewed and go live. And within, I would say, 48 to 72 hours, you should expect to start getting leads with your campaign. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, I know this was super long. I wanted to give it as much detail, as much information as possible. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe. I'm trying to get the channel to 1,000. If you enjoyed the video, leave a thumbs up and comment down below anything that you enjoyed or any feedback that you have, as I'm looking to make as much content as possible to help you guys throughout 2026. So again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.